Young Scorbunny's grown up. Yo, what's up everyone? Trainman1 here. We're back with another Pocket Monsters 2019 anime review. Today we're covering episode 17, the big episode that we all been waiting for. The episode where it does happen, Scorbunny Evolves. And let me go ahead and get to my thoughts in summary on this episode. The episode begins with Ash and Go doing some training, which we love to see. And basically, Scorbunny and Go do the classic fist bump high five that they normally do throughout the entire series. But what I love about this beginning sequence is that it actually has a lot of importance to what's going to happen in the end. Yeah, pay attention to how, they're high fiving each other. They're cool. Everything's all right now. It's so funny too because throughout the series, me and my buddy Goggle Master have been wondering, why hasn't Scorbunny used any fire type moves? What's going on with that? And they actually made a whole episode to answer that question through Darmanitan. Darmanitan shows up, tries to get Scorbunny to use a fire type move, shows off his fire type moves, and he's like, all right, it's your turn. Scorbunny tries to use Ember, but unfortunately, Ember does not succeed. Which also, I want to point out something interesting. Ever since Gen 5, they've been coming up with new gimmicks of the fire type Pokemon using, fire type moves. From Gen 1 through 4, they all shot out the fire through their mouths, like Charmander, Cyndaquil, all the way up to, Chimchar. They always used Flamethrower, Ember through their mouths. But starting with Gen 5, we had Tepig through the nose, Braixen and Delphox used the stick, Torracat and Incineroar used the belt and the bell, under Torracat. And we actually get to see how Scorbunny will use Ember in this episode, which I actually like it. But yeah, Scorbunny keeps trying his hardest to use a fire type move, and now this is the only thing it wants to do. But Go is your quick attack and double kick are really strong moves, so you really don't need a fire type move. And I do like that Ash is still trying to help Scorbunny learn this move, because as we know, Ash with his Pokemon, anytime they want to learn a move, even literally with Rowlet trying to learn Bullet Seed, even though couldn't use it, they still worked and found ways to get around it to learn Seed Ball. We also have an interesting scene at the breakfast table, which I do believe is some foreshadow. Ash is like, all right, Go, so you're catching Pokemon today, right? Go's like, yeah, and, Carl's like, is that fun? And Ash is like, yeah, you should totally join us. And Carl's like, I'd rather not. But I really do feel like Kaharu will end up joining Ash and Go later on into the series. That's what I hope for. At least let her catch Yamper, then, maybe catch a few more Pokemon. I don't think she's going to go all the way out to enter the World Championship or anything like that. But yeah, we did have a early on folks episode on Kaharu and what she wants to do. So I feel like she sooner or later will join Ash and Go. Scorbunny ends up missing breakfast and actually doesn't go with Ash and Go on their adventure today, but still trying to focus on Ember. And we actually do see that the Ember does increase by a little bit. And it's sad because the whole day Scorbunny's trying to show Go off, its new move, but Go's just searching for Pokemon. And I actually do believe this will have some type of, relevance to what's going to happen in the series with, we know Go wanting to catch all Pokemon leading up to Mew. But I feel like this episode right here, especially with what's going to happen later on, will kind of have an effect on Go's goal where, maybe he's going to be like, all right, I got to focus on the Pokemon I got as well, because he's not, that's one thing I was kind of nervous about, is Go's catching all these Pokemon, but he isn't going to have time to, grow bonds and develop with them. But this episode right here could lead to that happening more throughout the series. So let's just hope. They end up running into a Pelipper, which it actually ends up being Team Rocket's Pelipper, which is pretty funny. And I gotta say, Team Rocket in this episode were amazing. When they first appear, James is entering this phone booth all mysteriously. He ends up typing in a number, which actually ends up saying Jesse James, I believe, which is pretty cool. That they typed in the numbers to spell out Jesse and James's names. And we end up going into Team Rocket's new layer, and also there's a cool reference to Sun and Moon in this frame right here with Jesse. Look closely to the newspaper. What do you see? Mallow's cafeteria and the Alola region. I was like, yo, I didn't even notice this. Someone on Twitter actually pointed this out and used another image to reference it. This is the same newspaper that freaking Professor Kukui was reading in Sun and Moon. And it's just so cool to see this reference. Man, they got me really excited for the Alola episodes. This gives me a bit of hope that, there will be some continuity when we go back to Alola. But let's get back to this episode. I gotta say, Team Rocket have been getting better and better throughout the series, because in this episode, they were actually pretty funny. And I'm starting to like their appearances a lot more in the series. I've kind of gotten past the whole Rocket Lottery thing. It's kind of cool to see what Pokemon they'll get. And I actually feel like in today's episode, some of the Pokemon that they're getting will come back. Like, they're just not going to get new Pokemon through the whole series, but we'll start to see some of the same ones return, and maybe they'll grow bonds with those Pokemon, hopefully. But I got to say, this scene was amazing. James goes downstairs to the freaking secret lair. We see, like, Team Rocket looking all mysterious, like, did you get the item? And the item that they were waiting for was James to bring back some freaking snacks, which is like, oof. Following that, Team Rocket played this really weird game, and it's just like, what the heck is going on here? Like, I actually did like Team Rocket a lot in this episode, and I just hope that, you know, we get to see more of this type of Team Rocket, because I remember when they was first appearing, I was like, the Team Rocket don't seem like they're going to be as good as they were in Sun and Moon, but they're starting to get a little better, which I'm liking that. And it's so crazy and funny to me how the times are changing, because Go goes to the phone booth and he's like, what the heck is this? And Team Rocket end up coming out of the phone booth and it's just like, why are we on that box? Like, it's not a box, it's a phone booth. It's like, what's a phone booth? And me, I was just like, oh, these kids these days. It's so funny to me because Team Rocket has been around for a while. And I know back in the day when they first, came around, this stuff was like kind of common. So it's funny to me to think how stuff is changing. Like, Kanto is becoming more modernized as the series goes on. It's pretty crazy to me how this is happening. It's pretty funny as well. But Pelipper actually ends up coming out as well, and Pelipper was the reason that Go found Team Rocket's hideout. And since Team Rocket's hideout was discovered, they're like, okay, we got to get this kid, because, yeah. The two Pokemon they end up getting through the lottery today is Poliwrath and none other than Choodle. At that, the same Choodle that they met in the Galar region. So this gives me hope that they will be meeting Pokemon, taking them back to the boss, and getting them through the lottery that way. Because, I was, really hoping that they got this Choodle, but when we didn't see it again, I was like, it's kind of unfortunate. But Choodle is actually pretty powerful as well. Freaking Water Gun, more like Hydro Pump. My gosh. And instead of Scorbunny listening to Go's attacks, it still tries to go for Ember to try and counter Water Gun, which is a pretty bad matchup anyways, because it's fire and water. But the Ember fails again, and Scorbunny gets one-shotted. But thankfully, Ash is here, and sends Team Rocket blasting off again. And, it was kind of weird how Team Rocket were so early in this episode as well, because, we still had a lot left to go. This was before the, who's that Pokemon and everything like that. So Team Rocket were kind of early in this episode. And the moment that may change everything for Go and Scorbunny from here on out was the argument where Scorbunny's still trying to use Ember and Go's like, stop. You don't need to. It's not good. Your Ember is not good enough, basically. Like, you sending out these little fireballs is not good enough. You don't need to learn this move. Like, you're good with what you got. But Scorbunny is, not having that, because Scorbunny really wants to prove to Go that it, and Darmanitan that it can use Ember. And I'm actually kind of surprised Ash didn't jump in and say, let's try and find another way you can use it or anything like that, because, that's the Ash type of thing. When Rowlet was trying to use Bullet Seed, and it's like, you can't use Bullet Seed. He's like, we'll find a way. So I kind of wish Ash was like, actually brought up some instances where he found another way or anything like that. But Ash kind of just stayed quiet until Scorbunny left. But at least Ash did have an impact on Go in this episode. It wasn't about the move. It was more or less about Go and Scorbunny's battling, saying that you and Scorbunny weren't one when you were battling. And, that's the whole purpose of a battle. Like, you and your Pokemon have to come and be one together. So you and Scorbunny need to just work this out and try and become one through battle. So I do like that Ash is helping Go throughout this series. I just kind of wish he had a little bit more to say about the move situation. Which actually, they end up finding Scorbunny, and Scorbunny's kicking around a Pebble. And this is what I meant by they find a new, way for fire types to use their fire moves every series. This Pebble starts to glow, or burn as Scorbunny kicks it. And as we know, Cinderace's signature move has to deal with a Pebble. So I thought, is Scorbunny about to use Pyro Ball for a minute? But nope, they're actually going to use this Pebble to work into their Ember. And we actually end up running into Team Rocket again, which is pretty crazy to me, because it's like Team Rocket has been pretty good in this episode already, and the Choodle's still with them. I don't know where the Poliwrath went, but I don't know, maybe this Choodle, maybe it will stay with them, or maybe it'll just, we'll see it a lot more frequently in the Rocket Lottery. I'm not too sure. We'll just have to wait to see what the series decides to do with Choodle. And Go and Scorbunny actually end up working together once again to take on Team Rocket. And Scorbunny is actually starting to listen now. Like, he's like, I know a way you can use a fire type attack. And for a minute, I actually thought it was going to be Flame Charge, because he told Scorbunny to use Quick Attack and run it in place back and forth. And, when Ash learned Volt Tackle, Pikachu started with Quick Attack and it turned into Volt Tackle. So I thought that was going to happen here, but no. After gaining speed, Go throws the Pebble into the air for Scorbunny to kick it and send the Ember to Team Rocket's way. And I really did like how they did the Fire-type move this time around. Like, I'm liking that they're implementing new ways for these Fire Pokemon to use these Fire-type moves. It's pretty unique in my opinion. It leads from some nice development. And it got to the point where Scorbunny was so excited that it evolved. And I'm kind of mixed on this because I love Scorbunny as a Scorbunny so much, and I was like, I really don't want this to evolve. I remember saying in previous videos, I feel like its personality is going to change after evolving because Reboot doesn't seem like the cute, funny Pokemon like Scorbunny is. And apparently I was right. Reboot is already showing after evolving that it's a lot more cool, a lot more chill type of Pokemon. But a little bit more happens after it finishes battling with Go. Reboot ends up sending one more Ember Team Rocket's way and ends up blasting them off again, showing some true power. But I gotta say, like, this does feel so soon for Scorbunny to evolve because we know Go's goals to complete the Dex. So I would assume Scorbunny would have had to evolve because I can't see him catching another Reboot and Cinderace. But just seeing Scorbunny, like, I thought Scorbunny was the next Pikachu, Rowlet, Oshawott type of situation because it felt like that type of Pokemon. But Pocket Monsters is here breaking trends, and we're just gonna have to wait and see what more Reboot has to offer. But remember how early in the episode I was talking about the infamous fist bump high five scene. This time around, Go goes for it, but Reboot walks right past him. Like, I was like, oh shoot. Like, I instantly knew this, I was right. Like, Reboot's personality is going to change, and it's showing right here. Reboot angrily walks past Go and Ash and keeps walking. And the episode ends like this. A lot of people are speculating that Reboot is still mad at Go for not believing in him and that he could do this, and for ignoring him throughout the episode, because Go really did treat Reboot kind of bad in this episode. But it's also, I believe it's also due to the fact that of evolving. I remember in the video I made earlier about the confirmation of Scorbunny evolving, I was saying it would be interesting if Go actually witnesses what Ash went through, where when a Pokemon evolves, its personality changes and goes like, Scorbunny, you're not being the same like that you were anymore. Technically, that's happening here, but it has a little bit more story to it. Like, I feel like this does have to do with Go not believing in Scorbunny and just everything that built up to what's happening right now. And what's even more crazy is that Reboot isn't in next week's episode's summaries or preview, which means Reboot may not be traveling with Ash and Go for a while for these next couple of episodes. I could easily see moments of Reboot just staying with the other Pokemon in the Go Park, just not wanting to be bothered and just or training on its own. Like, that would be pretty crazy. Or push come to shove, Scorbunny / Reboot left Go for a while. Like, no, they don't know where it's at. I'm pretty sure that's not gonna be the case though, because I feel like they would look for it and try and find it and stuff. But the more likely thing is that Reboot's gonna stay in the Go Park, not want to be bothered by Go, which is pretty crazy. And it's kind of conflicting too, because during the battle, Go and Scorbunny actually do become one. Like, they become instinct, their movements and everything. And it's just so sad to me that Scorbunny had to evolve so soon. Like, I love that they're giving some good story here, but I just feel like it was too soon. And yeah, it's just sad because Scorbunny was a really great Pokemon, but I am looking forward to see what they will do with Reboot in the future. Overall, I gotta say this was a pretty great episode though. Like, Team Rocket were amazing, Scorbunny's development was amazing, and I can't wait to see if this leads to a future arc between Go and Reboot. In the comment section down below, let me know what y'all thought of this episode. I would love to hear. Thank you all for watching, and I hope y'all enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Trayman1, peace out.